Hey, friends. Glad to see a few of you here in the chat already. I am cracking up at Mandy here from Mandy UK. She says, hopefully, I'll stay awake. It's your voice. A lot of you have been telling me that in the comments that my voice puts you to sleep. I've been thinking maybe it would be a good idea to do like some fall asleep with me history videos. What do y'all think? Or even like fact videos on different cases and stuff. Hey, Snuggle X Core, Julia, Sam H. I'm glad to see y'all. Go ahead and add our photos to the stage. Y'all are so sweet in the chat. Thank you. Hey, rude Canadian. Oh, awesome. You already listened to me to fall asleep. That's great. I love it. Love it. Love it. Hey, Jenna. Excuse my throat clearing, y'all. I wish I didn't do that, but it's allergies. Hey, Art is Life. Stacy. Hey, Brooklyn. Hey, Lexi. Hey, Feria. Happy Sunday, everyone. We're getting several in here now. So yeah, we left off last time at number 29 here. Let me switch over to the supplemental report. It says white bath towel located on east side of the bed on the floor. So just a reminder, we are in Dee Dee's room here. Hey, Daisy's Design and Rhea. Divine Heathen. Awesome. So glad to have y'all in here. So yeah, we are in Dee Dee's room going through the exhibits. Not a lot interesting with this towel. I'm not sure why they paid so much attention. The supplemental report doesn't mention it having blood on it or anything, but yeah. Thank you, Artist Life. Yeah, the allergies are real. They suck. Hey, Claudia Walker. So yeah, anyone new coming in, I was just apologizing for all the throat clearing. I cut those out in my edited videos, but it's constant because I just have terrible, terrible allergies. It's part of the problem with my ears and my eustachian tube dysfunction is chronic allergies. Let's see what our next picture is, friends. Oh, same thing, different angle. Again, same thing, different angle. There's another one of Dee Dee's binders back there. I really, really wish that they would have had time, before the plea deal to get to the investigation part of the case where they started going through her binders and documenting what was in there to go along with the fraud. Yep, I agree, Daisy's design. Divine Heathen, yeah, I do think that they were it just seems more likely to me it was probably on Dee Dee's bed, but who knows? They definitely like either something happened on Gypsy's bed or maybe she had accidents in there because there is a picture where they're shining a black light on her bed and get all kinds of glowy stuff. So we'll get to that and see what we all think. Oh, that's possible, Brooklyn. Maybe they dried their hands on it after washing up. Daisy's Designs is dealing with vertigo right now. That is so tough. I get it really bad whenever I'm in a high elevation because of my ears and I feel like I'm gonna, fall wherever I'm at. It's crazy. So I really feel you. I hope it gets better. Hey, Renex. Hey, RL Fro. More of the towel. Okay, I think this has been talked about a lot, the fishnet scooper type thing. And didn't Dee Dee have kidney stones or something or other? Let's go to it says number 28. Uh, oh, okay. So 28. On the supplemental report says white nightgown with flowers located on east side of the floor. So in this picture, they're not actually highlighting the scooper thing. They're highlighting that this is the white nightgown with flowers, and it was on the floor in Dee Dee's room. And that's what we had talked about in the fact that Gypsy said in those texts to Nick that she was wearing a white nightgown with flowers, right? Hey, Just Brilliant, Shorty Pie, Ruth Carroll. Let me pull up those texts to Nick real quick, and let's see if we can find that one real fast. Okay, we're at June 9th, 6:55 a.m. Let's skip forward a few pages. I'll switch the preview whenever I find the text so y'all can see it with me. I'll text what we're doing later tonight at all times. Okay, it's still 7:03 a.m. there. You can get a few pages forward to later in the day. We'll have to get past their 12-hour part where they're not talking to each other. Okay, so we're at 8:30 p.m. I'm trying to find the part where she describes her nightgown. Here's Nick being mad about her being lonely. Gypsy says she was in the tub. She says, I left the gloves outside the front door in this text, which is totally different from what she told Nick. Oh. There they talk about the duct tape. Let me go check y'all's comments real quick. Rude Canadian says, I have a theory about the white nightgown and blankets piled on Dee Dee's bed. I believe Jip consummated on Dee Dee's bed. Yeah. It's possible, but the blankets and the white nightgown are on the floor. I mean, there were a lot of blankets on Dee Dee's bed kind of covering her afterwards, but I get what you're saying about a space cleared. That's very interesting. Hmm. Okay, let me keep going through his text. I just wanted to switch back to y'all's comments real quick and make sure I'm not missing anything. Hey, Claudia. Hey, Amanda Pink. Okay, I'm trying to find off screen in Gypsy and Nick's text where Gypsy describes what she's wearing. Red fingernails. That's where he's asking her for the red fingernails. Asked for red lipstick. She says she doesn't have any. I'm painting them a dark pink. Goes with pink boots. Then she says she has pink lip gloss. I know they talked about the nightgowns in these texts. Here it is. Here it is. Okay. It says, I will just be in my nightgown with painted pink nails and lip gloss. Okay, so she doesn't describe the nightgown in this text. I'm pretty sure there's another place somewhere. Maybe it's not in the text, but there's somewhere I'm pretty sure where she described wearing a white nightgown with pink flowers. Do any of y'all remember where that would be at? Let me know in the comments. Maybe it was in her book. Let me do a quick search because I have her book on Kindle, so I can search that real fast. See if we've got a white nightgown mentioned in there. I'm going to search for nightgown. Um, No, I'm not finding it in there. Hey, my pal Sal. Yeah, RL Fro, I just read the one where she was telling him about painting her nails, but she just said, I'll be in my nightgown. She doesn't describe what it looks like, but I was so positive. There was Sam H says described it during interrogation, I think. Okay. Hmm. I wonder where we could verify that real quick. Maybe if one of y'all could look in the transcript of her interrogation and search for white nightgown. But yeah, I feel pretty sure we read somewhere that this was Gypsy's nightgown and it was taken off in Dee Dee's bedroom and left on the floor there. Hmm. Yeah, Lexi, and if they didn't, like I said, the doors looked right in onto Dee Dee's bed. There was a photo where fabric ties together. Yeah, that was, I think, a cultural thing that Dee Dee did, like a Louisiana like folk thing for good luck. I can't remember where I heard that though. I probably need to verify that. I'm not sure that was factual, you know? Yeah, I agree there. Thank you, Mandy. I knew I read it somewhere. Prison email dated 5 January 2023. Long sleeved white nightgown with rose embroidered on the front and lace around the collar. So let's zoom in on this a bit. This might not be the one. Okay, I think that's the color. That looks more like a little ribbon or something with the buttons. Hey, Rachel. Yep, she sure did. Divine Heathen. Yes, good find. Thank you, Mandy. Okay, let's see what else they noted on this. It's interesting that the nightgown is in the floor with the towel that they, took note of for some strange reason and everything. And then this pillow being down here too kind of goes to what y'all were saying about things being thrown around, almost like the area got cleared. Hey, Jen. No problem, Daisy's Designs. Look at the powder too, y'all. See the powder on here? And it looks like some of it's wiped off, almost like handprints, like there was someone crawling around on the floor doing something or other. Let's zoom in here real quick. See what I mean? Let me check the comments real quick. Mel, the strainer to the right, we were kind of thinking might have to do with the fact that Dee Dee had kidney stones. I don't know. Divine Heathen, we actually haven't seen any marks in the yard in the pictures yet. I know that those are talked about a lot, and we might, I mean, maybe they're in pictures we haven't got to yet, but we have saw so many overviews of the yard and not seeing any tire tracks. There are tire tracks on the driveway that appear to match the size of Dee Dee's Nissan Cube. Um, Mel said the thing to the left of it with the powder. Oh, you mean the grate? That's a vent grate. Okay, let's see what the next one is. Still more of the same scene here. Let's see what 10 and 11 say they are, because there's more markers down here in the corner. You scroll up on this document. 10 says possible swab of blood located on the lid of HP laptop computer located on the floor next on the east side of the bed. And 11 is another blood swab on that computer. I assume the computer must be out of field of vision in this picture. That's possible, Daisy. Hmm. I guess these are the dryer sheets, and that's some of the blood come through. Let's see what number 27 says. Second foam pad located on the bed Blanchard would have been lying on. Oh man, yeah. So Gypsy put dryer sheets underneath the mattress. She could have done that before the murder because Dee Dee wouldn't have been able to see them underneath the mattress, if she wasn't taking it off, which with her mobility and health issues, she wouldn't have been doing that too often, I assume. Yeah, Mel, it looks like the dryer sheets are under the mattress. That's a good point. Yeah, mattresses are rather heavy, but they said Dee Dee was using foam mattresses and those are lighter. Yeah, the blood soaked all the way through the other foam mattress down to this bottom one. There's another view of them. I know a lot of times people talk about how there wasn't enough blood at the crime scene, but that would take a lot of blood to soak all the way through all those blankets and stuff through a foam mattress to even get to the second foam mattress, it seems to me. And like I always tell y'all, that's just my uneducated opinion on this. I don't have any crime scene training or nothing like that, but it just seems like it would take a lot. 26. Let's see what that one says. Foam pad located on top of mattress Blanchard would have been laying on. Okay. So it sounds like maybe this one is under the one we just saw, that there were layers of dryer sheets. I don't know. And I think that particular design is what they found on Dee Dee's legs and stuff. Yeah, so this is the upper mattress. The other one we saw first was underneath this one. So Dee Dee must have used several layers of foam mattresses, and Gypsy put dryer sheets in all of them. That's a lot of contemplation and planning, A lot of contemplation and planning. Yeah, like I say, Claudia, she could have been looking up how to get away, how to get free, how to get help, and blah blah blah. She was looking up how to hide decomp smells and slow it down. Hey, McCatherine. Hey, AC. I want to see what number 14 is labeled as because we see this 14 up here. 14. Barney's stuffed animal, which had been initially located at the head of the bed next to Blanchard. Yeah, when you look at the crime scene photos that actually have Dee Dee's body still in them, the Barney was almost kind of tucked under her head a little bit. I don't see the Barney in this photo. They must have already removed it before they added the tag. Yeah, so this I think Dee Dee had another mattress on top of this one. I don't know. I guess we'll see. But we've saw 2 layers of foam mattresses so far, both with blood on them and dryer sheets. Yep, good point, AC. Okay, now we're to the upper sheet. So I guess it looks like this sheet is directly on top of the mattress we just saw. That's a lot of blood. Let's take a look at the 25 tag in the sheet. It says second fitted sheet located on top of the bed Blanchard was lying on top of. So she had 2 fitted sheets on, I guess. And there's another view of it. And another. Yeah. And there's a close up. Okay, so in this one we can see better. Look, y'all. The nightgown we've been talking about, it's over here on like the left side by that vent. So it was on like the other side, which means if that is the nightgown that Gypsy was wearing that she took off after, then she w- the nightgown was placed in the floor all the way around the bed. Like she would had to go all the way around the bed to the other side, all the way around Dee Dee's body to put it over there. You know what I mean? Because the door is over here on this side. So if that is the one we've been looking for, yeah, it went all the way around there. Yeah, next to the side where Dee Dee was closest to. Hey, Nicole G and Kathleen Fleck. Okay, so I think this is the upper fitted sheet. It looks like Dee Dee used multiple sheets and multiple mattresses for extra comfort. Let's see what 24 is labeled as. 24 fitted sheet located on top of the bed Blanchard was lying on top of. Let me check and see if y'all have any questions before I move on. Says she answered the door to Nick in her nightgown and says she stripped off in the bathroom. Yeah, I remember that is kind of what always confused me and caught my attention about this is it seems like she's got different stories of where she put that nightgown and where she got naked. And we don't we're not finding the nightgowns where she says they should be. Hey, Mr. Girl Missy, no worries. Okay, let's see what else we can find, friends. Once again, see, there's the pillow and the little nightgown over here and everything that we were talking about earlier. There's a close up of the blood. And like I was saying, I know a lot of people talk about how there's not enough blood, but to me, it seems like it's a lot of blood because for the blood to get to this point where it's on the sheets, soaking through that mattress down to get a spot on the one below, it had to already soak all the way through, soak all the way through all the blankets and the nightgown and stuff that Dee Dee was wearing. Yeah, we didn't see a nightgown in the bathroom at all that I remember. They made sure to get every angle possible of those blood stains. Hey, Rachel. Yeah, with the dryer sheets being underneath the mattresses, I can see her getting that done possibly before the murder, but not the powder stuff. Dee Dee would have noticed that right away for sure. Yeah, goodness, it's pulled up and dried here. Let's make sure of what that 23 tag says. It says thin white sheet, which would have been under Blanchard on the bed. So I guess maybe like her top sheet. It looks kind of, oh, I guess that is a sheet. Let me zoom in. For a minute, I thought this white thing looked more like a blanket type edge, but I guess that's a sheet. It's hard to imagine knowing that this was in a room next to you, a body all brutal and bloody like this. And to be your mother's on top of that, regardless of, how Gypsy felt about that. Like, I just don't understand how she could have had any type of sexual thoughts knowing Dee Dee was in that room. Even if we were to accept and entertain the possibility that she really did believe Dee Dee was abusive and hated her, I don't believe that, but if we were to accept and entertain that, it's still weird how she could have any sexual thoughts with a dead body there. I just don't get it. Yeah. Is this over here Dee Dee's CPAP machine? I'm not too familiar with CPAPs. Let me check the comments and see if any of y'all know. I agree, weird girl. Yeah, that's possible, Ruth Carroll. Yeah, AC, and you know what's it was so weird to me. Remember whenever I was reading the text messages between Nick and Gypsy for the last 24 hours before the murder? It really stood out to me how Gypsy was nervous before the murder, asking Nick if he would need an anxiety pill and all this stuff, but then she was calm after. And Nick was calm before because he believed what he was doing was righteous. He was going to save someone. And he was nervous and upset after because the reality of what he just did was real to him now. That's really how I see it. What do y'all think? Yeah, I agree, Claudia. Oh, that's wild, Kung Fu. Yeah, the nightgown being right there is very strange. Okay, thanks, y'all. I thought that was a CPAP. I just wasn't totally sure. Oh, I just realized those are Doctor Who telephone booth lights over Dee Dee's bed. Oh, thank you, Jenna. That's so sweet. I appreciate that. Fox FA, I've been trying to figure out exactly where the safe is because the pictures of it are close up, so I'm having a hard time kind of positioning it in the bigger pictures of the room, you know? Yeah, we've heard that, Nick, that or I'm sorry, Claudia, we've heard that that Nick was crying at the hotel and that's why Gypsy was trying to like calm him doing her chick chicky boo. That was so weird. Hey Violet. Mandy says it's in the corner opposite of the bed. Thank you, Mandy. Yeah, and the safe is weird too because it's got that powder all over it, but then it looks like it has fingerprint swipe marks where, I mean, it seems obvious that Gypsy went in there after the murder, after doing her powder, decomp stuff, and took the money out of the safe to me. Yeah, that's possible. Mill bounce chicka bow wow and got chick chicky boo instead because she's just awkward. Oh, yeah, there's the tied up stuff. I assume these had to be different meaningful clothes maybe over the years to Dee Dee that she had tied up. Yeah, I agree, AC. Yeah. Hey, Cindy Lou Who. I've heard a lot of theories on what these were, but haven't seen anyone really know for sure. If any of y'all have, let me know. Let's zoom in on them just a little bit, see if we can make out the patterns better. Okay, this pattern is something Mardi Gras. See, there's a Mardi Gras mask. We got beads. That NE, I assume, probably says New Orleans. And then these have writing on them. It's upside down. I can't tell what they say. I just turned my computer sideways, but they're kind of upside down and backwards too. AC, yeah, prayer rag. That's what was trying to think of. Someone told me they were like a cultural thing, but yeah, prayer rag. And I bet they're different meaningful pieces of clothing from throughout her life. I'm guessing are pieces that people gave her, maybe from different family members and stuff. This one here looks like it's got a New Orleans print too. Mel says, I wonder if that's the stuff she had in her pillowcase, Gypsy. Oh, hmm. Yeah, didn't Gypsy kind of take that stuff out? Or I mean, she says she cuddled it, but I don't know. She sure knew all the layers that were in there. Just speculating, but I wouldn't put it past her to take apart her mom's special thing to try and, just a little FU kind of deal, even though she murdered the woman. What do y'all think? Oh, that's possible, Ruth. I've heard that, Claudia, but I've not heard it from reliable sources or really seen it verified, so I'm not sure about that. Hey, smartass patriot, good morning. Zoom in on this one a little bit. Wherever these items were, they really caught a lot of blood. See how stiff they are and standing up from the mattress that's underneath them? Do you remember where we found out about that from, AC? Supposedly on the police record, okay. The jar she says that Dee Dee put a cow tongue in a quart mason jar and did a hex that Gypsy will never find love. Now, if you read up on voodoo, Louisiana voodoo, hoodoo, and cow's tongue use, cow's tongue is to stop someone from talking. It's to affect their communication. It's not really related to love. So, I don't know. I feel like if Dee Dee actually did anything there, that Dee Dee was from Louisiana and she talked about Wicca and voodoo and stuff to people. I feel like she would know more of how that stuff actually goes. So, I don't know. I feel like Gypsy was just making that up, honestly, but who knows? Mel says, I think Gypsy is the reason the boys stayed away. Yeah, that's where I remembered it from, AC. So I don't know. I'd love to have it verified. Afaria, she talked to Ryan in her emails about wanting to go dig up that jar. That's the only thing that made me think maybe it could be real because I don't know why she would keep that up in her emails to Ryan. That's funny, AC. But yeah, I mean this prayer cloth thing, wherever it was, like it got soaked, and dried stiff. See all that? That is a good point, rude Canadian. Yeah, Gypsy talked about her Wicca and witchcraft phase, and to be clear, I don't have a problem with people doing Wicca and witchcraft and voodoo. That's fine, as long as they don't do murder with it or murder around it, murder adjacent to it. Just no murder. But yeah, no, Dee Dee did. Dee Dee loved her voodoo and her Wicca. She talked about it to people a lot. She would talk about how she's Christian now, but she still knows all about it. And Dee Dee had a wizard and a pentagram tattooed on her leg. They're available in the autopsy pics. So, there's it's just not factual to say that Dee Dee never did that. She was into it, but I don't believe that Dee Dee would curse Gypsy if Dee Dee ever even did, the darker stuff like trying to curse people. I don't believe that she would do that to Gypsy because Dee Dee made her whole life around giving Gypsy every single thing she could ever want. Oh, and another thing I meant to say earlier too, a cow's tongue won't fit in a quart mason jar. That would have to be, like, cut down in half and stuff, and yeah, just wouldn't work. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, weird girl. Dee Dee, definitely, she was into, the weird stuff. She liked it, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I don't believe she ever tried to do anything to Gypsy. Yeah, I was wondering about that green doll on her shelf the other day. It's definitely a New Orleans thing. I've seen similar ones down there. Yeah, she says that, and I feel like if Gypsy realized that a cow tongue is actually traditionally supposed to affect speech, that, she might start running with that. If we see Gypsy suddenly start with a new lie on it, we'll know she watched this live stream. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, I agree, AC. She loved American Horror Story. Yeah, Dee Dee, it does seem she was cool, like cool, cool, she was in rock videos and all that stuff. I think some of them really are jealous of how cool Dee Dee was because, like Christy, whenever it comes up, she's real bitter. She's like, "Oh yeah, Dee Dee was being groupies," and I was like, "What? Were you on your knees for him?" And, it's whatever. Everybody knows what a groupie does, but whenever someone is young and having fun and proud of what they're doing, to put them down like that is just rude in my opinion. I don't know. Yeah, Dee Dee was fierce. Yeah, it was very pretty Violet. And, Gypsy talks about being jealous of how beautiful Dee Dee was. Wow. And that prayer cloth got so much blood soaked into it. I agree, McCatherine. Oh, yeah, 80s smoke show with that big hair. The big curly hair in the 80s was everything. Let's zoom in on this one a bit. I get the impression maybe this is how they dried, and then they kind of unfurled them for the pics. Is that the impression y'all are getting? It almost makes me wonder if the, uh if the prayer cloth wasn't kind of, like, stuck up under her somehow to soak up blood because it has so much more than the other stuff around it. I agree, mystery girl Missy. I love big hair. It's one of the reasons why I like wearing wigs because my regular hair isn't thick enough to do the big hair like I like. That is a very weird thing, Shorty Pie, for sure. Thank you, Vino. My experience with prayer cloths was like, in evangelical churches when I was little, sometimes if one of us was sick or something or other, then people would pray over a handkerchief or something at church, anoint it with olive oil and whatever, and send it to the sick person, and, the cloth like, the handkerchief was supposed to have the prayers in it or something like that, and, it's very, similar, I think, to what Dee Dee might have been doing here. Something about all the blood on that cloth is just so creepy and odd to me when it's not like there's just so much blood specifically on the prayer cloths as opposed to the sheets around. I agree, Violet. Yeah, she did. Yep. They definitely made sure to get every angle photographed of this prayer cloth before they unfurled it. And since Gypsy says, oh my God. Oh, Lord, y'all, I think that's the pillow. I think this is the baby pillow. Let me zoom in. Remember how she said the pillow was lumpy and had a lot of different. Let's see what 23 says. Or 21, I mean. Pillow which Blanchard was lying on top of the bed. And Gypsy described that pillow as, having like some childlike pillowcases. Thank you, Vino. Yeah, and oh my God. I've never seen this pillow before. I've seen the terrible pics of Dee Dee's body, but the amount of blood and, just matter on the pillow and stuff really shows how brutally things came out of Dee Dee's neck. Yep, it and the prayer cloth, it looks like would have had to been like right under her head. Yeah. Yeah, that was her baby pillow. The one Gypsy says she cuddled up to herself saying goodbye to her mom. Let's see what this one says. 20. Oops. Accidentally closed the document instead of scrolling. 20 white flowered pillow located from west corner of the bed Blanchard was lying on. So probably Gypsy's pillow, I assume. Yeah, I agree, y'all. Oh, thank you, Fox and Faye. I appreciate that. Fox and Faye just donated some memberships. No worries, Jenna. If you can't look, that's totally fine. I get it. Yeah, so it looks like Gypsy slept on the bed nearest or Gypsy slept on the side of the bed nearest the door, and Dee Dee slept on the one nearest the back wall, which is where we saw that flowered nightgown. Yeah, Gypsy said in her emails that he couldn't, which is wild since she, also says that he raped her right after, but whenever she was on oath under the stand, she said she didn't. Yeah, I agree, buttons, Bashan. Yeah, that's wild, Claudia, how she, even if she really hated her, with the gravity of what she did, it's hard to imagine how she can feel comfortable going on TikTok live and calling her of what she say she was a shit piece of mom or something backwards like that instead of a piece of shit mom. That is the damn truth, AC. I couldn't believe whenever we found in those emails where she admitted lying about having consensual sex with her cellmate in Greene County and then getting upset and saying that she raped her. Exactly, Phaedra. Let me see what this one says. It is 19, small blue and white blanket recovered from the bed Blanchard was lying on. Hmm, look at all that powder. And then we've got kind of a baby blanket looking one. 18 says pink blanket recovered from bed Blanchard was lying on. Thank you, Buttons Bashan. Yeah, I agree, Daisy's designs. She said Dee Dee didn't go to bed usually until like 2 or 3 a.m., probably because she was terrified of what Jip was doing while she was asleep. More of the blanket. And this one is going to be a different blanket. Let's see what 17 says. Comforter recovered from the bed Blanchard was lying on. I know there was a lot of blankets over Dee Dee. Yeah, smartass patriot. Yeah, especially after Gypsy chased her around with a BB gun. Yeah, I wonder about that a lot, RL. I get the feeling sometimes that she might have just kind of mentally give up, like, especially as her physical mobility went down too. Hey, Aleph, good morning. Exactly, Buttons, Bashan. Yeah, she always has to, instead of showing real remorse, she always has to be like, "But I didn't do the actual kill. I don't even identify as a murderer." Yep. Looks like a lot of this stuff over here at the end of the room is in bags and boxes, like we were talking about yesterday. How strange it is that so much stuff is boxed up. What the heck is this? Look at all that Pepsi, y'all. Where's the Pepsi? Yeah, Tessa, for real. She had to hear some of those recordings and get freaked out. Yeah, Daisy's designs, especially after we got that police report about Dee Dee getting violent with the pizza man who wouldn't accept her um, coupon that was for another franchise. I don't think we can totally rule out that Dee Dee never got frustrated enough to smack Gypsy around or anything like that. But I don't believe that medical abuse, which was the reason given for the plea deal, I don't believe that actually happened. Right, Vino, like, and different cultures and different people define abuse different ways. I personally don't agree with smacking children, but there's people and cultures who define that as reasonable discipline if it doesn't go too far. And it's not beyond the realm of my belief that Dee Dee might have smacked Gypsy here and there, but I just don't believe the medical abuse. Weird girl, that is entirely possible. So they probably smacked each other around. Um, Trying to catch all the comments real quick. That's possible. Artie. Yeah, that's very possible, RL Fro. Yeah, when I was growing up in the 80s in the South, that was totally normal to, for everybody to get beat with the belt. And now that's considered abuse. That's why I try and be kind of, you know, um, what's the word I'm looking for here? Diplomatic about what is and isn't child abuse because we have a lot of people from different places around the world and a lot of different cultures. And I don't want to, you know, say something really American and offend everybody. But yeah, a lot of us got spanked and, smacked and belted and stuff like that. And a lot of us who even wouldn't do that to children ever now still don't exactly look back at that and sometimes consider it actual physical abuse. And we definitely wouldn't murder our parents over it. Yeah. And that's possible too, Claudia. Yep. Oh, the Shinkla. That card over here was a Ronald McDonald House pin, I remember from another picture. Oh, I guess this is where they were bagging up the sheets and stuff for evidence. They put them in butcher block paper. Yeah, I had to do that a few times. Gracie from the private Christian school I went to a few years in elementary school, they beat us with sticks and stuff. Hey, Christine Covey. Mighty Mulatto. Good to see y'all in here. Yeah, it looks like they're preserving all the evidence there. Good grief, look how many slippers Jip had. Slippers everywhere. Love Shack Sarah says, I'm not traumatized. I was being an effing brat. Uh, I guess they're just like documenting that the butcher block paper was clear before they put that on there. See what number 7 is that caught my eye here that they tagged this yellow thing. 7, oh, no, that can't be right. It says orange plastic lid outside. We must be on a different. I wonder if it's 27. 27, no. Second foam pad. 17 maybe? 17 says comforter recovered from bed. No. I don't know what the heck is back in here with in that yellow thing with the number 7. I think so, Daisy. Yeah, you might be right, very right, Luluby. Hmm. I don't know why this yellow thing over here is just bugging me. I really want to know what it is. Mel says, I think it's a marker holder bag. Well, I thought it might be 17, Jenna, but the 17 on the list is another one. Yes. I can't remember if they marked them in these Mighty Mulatto, but someone, I want to say it might have been Ashley Baby on TikTok, pulled out all those pictures and documented the BB wounds in the wall. Okay, vacuum cleaner zipper bag for the changeable bag. That might be it. If that was the case, they might have tagged it because they could have vacuumed up evidence. Hmm. Does anyone see anything they want zoomed in on in here before I move to the next one? I'll check comments for a couple minutes. Yeah, me too. Buttons Bichon. Hey, misbehaving. Okay, let's see what the next one is. Kind of a wider view of the room. Oh, that's interesting. And there's 2 doors. I guess maybe this one's a closet. Oh, Misbehaving says it actually is literally the marker holder bag. I thought she was just being silly. My bad. Thank you for straightening me out. Oh, yeah, I agree. Mr. Girl, Nick hated Dan very deeply. Yep. It's just my opinion. I really feel like Gypsy wanted Dan to be involved in this and he refused to. And Nick feels like that's how he got left holding the actual, murder bag, so to speak, getting his life. Let's see what else we got. That's so funny. It literally was the marker holder bag, and I couldn't understand what y'all were saying. Oh, man. Yeah, I agree, Buttons Bashan. Yep. And also, considering what we were just talking about, Jip tells everybody that everybody graped her. So, yeah, there's no telling what she told Dan. So I guess this is a view of the room like at the bottom of the bed of everything piled up down there. Let's double check what 15 marker 15 multicolored pillow located on master bed just above where Blanchard was located. We must not be able to see that. Oh, thank you, Mighty Mulatto. I appreciate that. And super chat. Yeah, and also she stole from her just a few months before the murder. Dee Dee called the police about her Xanax and her pain meds and cash getting stolen. On her dresser, and I wondered about that too. My suspicion is she did. I don't know of a way to know for sure. I'm not sure if that information gets retained to where it could be FOIA'd or not. See what's in this trash can or basket here over to the side. Looks like a sticker roll or something. So this pillow was probably kind of under the baby pillow that Dee Dee liked to keep, really close to her. Oh, yeah, I agree, Mel. Yep, good point, Ruth. And there's the pillow again. Is that a Harry Potter book back there? Looks like Dee Dee had a sheet up over her bedroom window instead of using the nice films. Yeah, I remember when that shooting happened because I remember my friends telling me they saw it on Facebook and everybody was so upset. Like, oh my God, of all the people, Dee Dee and Gypsy fled from a hurricane, dealing with all this sickness. Gypsy's going to die sometime. And then someone robs him at the Walmart with a BB gun. And it just, yeah. But turns out it was Gyp the whole time. It's pretty weird, isn't it, Claudia? More of the pillow. Oh, Lord, there's the Barney. Okay. Let's zoom in here. Let me double check comments real quick. Um, they had a projector. They wouldn't have needed a screen. The projector's in Dee Dee's bedroom. We've looked at it in the pictures. You're probably right, misbehaving. She probably used that projector in her bedroom after because they stopped doing the movie nights outside in the last year or two. Okay, let me zoom in a little bit. But yeah, when Dee Dee her health got so much worse, they stopped doing their movie nights outside. Oh yeah, there's some blood on the Barney, see? Oh, I know. The Dark Barney songs in the 90s were bad. They were weird. Makes you wonder if Jip got any of those. Yeah. Yeah, misbehaving she was. Yeah. So this over here, this is Gypsy's medicine. It's codeine, and Dee Dee's wrote Jip ouch. Jip ouch. Yep, there's Dee Dee behind the Barney in the picture. Yeah, I think they call it lean, right, Arelfo? There's Dee Dee in the background. Or is that Dee Dee's mom? Sometimes whenever I see pictures of Dee Dee's mom before her death, it looks like Dee Dee in her last years. Yeah, I was wondering the same, Mr. Girl. First off, is that for sure Dee Dee or Dee Dee's mom? And are they in a wheelchair? We've heard that Gypsy had some sort of herpes. I don't know if it was mouth or genital. Oh, where'd you hear that at, Diane? Very curious. Does anyone know what the cysteine balance is for? Let me Google that. Eye drops? Oh, it looks like they're for contacts. We saw a contact case of somebody's, but I don't remember hearing that Dee Dee wore contacts, but they might have. Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking, Love Shack, whenever I looked at it closer, that might be Dee Dee's mom, Emma. Yeah, Dee Dee would take donations for the movie nights. That was one of their money-making ways. Running away story. Yeah. Those landline phones are so nostalgic. Look at the powder layered up there, y'all. Powder over here. Yeah, I don't think I ever really looked at the Barney close up. Definitely blood there. And a pink key under there. Oh, hope everything's okay, Mr. Girl. I know how that is. We got hit last year. Oh, yeah. No, doing her movie nights for donation is one of the most legit things Gypsy and Dee Dee ever did for money. That's a possibility, yeah. Yeah, Catherine Barney doesn't have any powder on him. Weird, huh? That's what I think, Mel. Every time the dryer sheets I could see because they were in between the mattresses, those could have been put there before the murder, but the powder to me definitely would have had to have been done after the murder because Dee Dee would have noticed that. Yeah. Yeah, the Barney was up under Dee Dee's head, McCatherine. It seems like Gypsy put it there maybe after the murder. Yeah, it definitely would have had to have been before, I think. Yeah, they, a lot of places in Springfield gave them free passes for things because they thought Gypsy was dying. Same, Mel, same. More Barney. Oh, look at that. Look up here, y'all. All these pictures of Jip with Santa and Jip with Dee Dee. So her whole story about removing all the pictures is such bullshit. There are pictures of her in every room of the house. See those? Dee Dee could have ended the con and kicked Jip out. Yeah, for real, for real. Right, Kung Fu Panda. It's a shrine for GRB. I think someone was making a joke in the comments that doesn't syphilis drive people crazy, and maybe that's what's wrong with Jip. And now everybody's like, "Oh no, who has syphilis?" As far as we know, Jip doesn't have syphilis. Angelica says, "I can't believe she had it for D. I've often thought she was taking it for her, but got busy making sure D was dead." Yeah, for sure. Right? Oh, that's a good point, Afaria. If Dee Dee would have not covered for Gypsy and saying some random tried to rob her. Yeah, that's funny, Phaedra. I think it was Melissa Moore, or I can't remember who it was that said Gypsy never got to celebrate Christmas, but in her emails, it's all over. She talks about how her mom had made gumbo every year for Christmas, and her mom always had presents for her and the cats. And yeah, yep, Jip did not take all her pictures. That story on her part is absolute BS, and I don't even know why she tells it when we have the crime scene photos and everybody knows. Let's zoom in here and see what we got. Oh, this is even though it's got Dee Dee's CPAP over here, I get the feeling that this is Gypsy's side of the bed because this is the side where Dee Dee's blood wasn't on so much. And it looks like mostly Gypsy's things on the nightstand on this side. We've got her wallet, her Nintendo DS XL, shaky baby. some type of medicine there that she put shaky baby on. And then on the other side of the bed, on Dee Dee's side of the bed, on that nightstand, there's a medicine that says shaky honey. And we know Gypsy and Dee Dee called Dee Dee honey and Gypsy baby. So they both had some sort of seizure meds. Oh, good point, F. Breli. She did. Yep. So she alternately never celebrated Christmas and then also had to find out in prison that Santa wasn't real. Yeah, and Love Shack Sarah Gypsy has said, in her books that no matter how bad things were, Dee Dee always managed to have um presents for her and for the cats. Oh, that's a good question. Maybe they both had CPAPs. But yeah, I really wonder why they both had seizure medicine because we got shaky baby medicine on Gypsy's side of the bed and shaky honey on Dee Dee's side. So there's the projector. Like you can see, it's got powder all over it. Oh, good point, preteens. What do we got down here? Oh, movies and Lysol. Yeah. Didn't she say she used Lysol to help cover up the decomp? Movies, another baby blanket, musical jewelry box, powder on everything. Yeah, I'm sure Phaedra. Mm-hmm. Good question, Buttons Bashan. Go back to the pill case photo for y'all. This pill case is on Gypsy's side of the bed, it looks like. Oops. Trying to get it to where we can get the whole thing in one frame here. There. Okay. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. It looks like Tuesday evening is the only ones taken. Right. Yeah. The autopsy had no narcotics. Those kind of look like vitamins to me, Bill. Probably so, Kung Fu Panda. Okay, so there are some stains on the floor, but I don't seem like, I don't know, they could be blood and cleaned up, but they seem more like random stains to me. I can't remember what day of the week that was. Prentice, let me look it up. June 10th, 2015 was a Wednesday. So Tuesday evening would make sense. It's like we got another angle here. Oh, look up here. We got a collage on the wall of Dee Dee and Jip. Let's see if we can zoom in on that. See, this is why I can't even believe that she actually sticks with the story and put it in her book. That she removed all pictures of herself and thought people were gonna forget and think that Dee Dee lived alone by herself. Good point, Mighty Mulatto. Gypsy said that they got into it 2 days before the murder. I bet that's when she punched her. Yeah. Yeah, those bruises on her fingers. Yeah, look how many pictures there are here of Gypsy with Dee Dee. As a baby and all through the years, Dee Dee probably made that clutch. So the whole "she removed all pictures" is just absolute bullshit. Yeah, it really seems that way, Prentice. So this part of the bed here probably would have been completely clear for Nick and Jip to do activities on. Hmm. Oh, thank you, Jenna. I appreciate that. Jenna's in a super sticker. Yeah, we totally saw her doing that to Ryan and telling him to shut up. Yep. Yeah. See, almost like a third of the bed on Gypsy's side was clear. Yeah, Ken slipped up and got in trouble with Jip there. He accidentally said the truth. The windows were covered so she could walk around the house. Then she tried to correct him because that's not the official story that she puts out anymore. One long after that, Ken basically got off the internet. See what I mean, y'all? Her and Nick could have easily been over here on this side. Dee Dee was all up over here. Look, both sides of the walls have pictures of Jip everywhere. Daisy, if you're talking about the actual reason for Gypsy saying that she was taking all the pictures away, she said in her book, and then I think in the interrogation too, maybe that she was removing all pictures of herself and she hoped that maybe people would just assume Dee Dee Blanchard lived alone and died alone. And that is just so dumb, like dumb dumb. There's no way. Absolutely. The rope on the ceiling behind the headboard, there's not a rope on the ceiling. These here are, chains from the ceiling fan, and then she's got Doctor Who telephone booth lights on the back of her bed. Then over here, there's a CPAP machine tubing. Oh, the windows. Gypsy says that, it was because Dee Dee was paranoid after CPS came that one time after they got reported. They got reported because the doctors weren't finding, no cancer, muscular dystrophy, or anything like that, and they started and then they were seeing that the name spelling was changing a little bit and the birth dates were changing a little bit. And she said that Dee Dee got paranoid about that. And that's why she did that. Everybody knows it's because she was walking. Yeah, you can have light switch and the pulls because you can use the chains to turn your fan light off so that the switch only turns the fan blade motion off and on. So you definitely have both. Phaedra says she wanted to be gone, girl. Yep. Yep, yep. That's correct, Mandy, but isn't, don't doesn't she have the sheet hanging up over it? Or did I mistake on that? Yeah, I think you're right, Love Shack Sarah. Oh, I agree, Jenna. No way she was chained to that bed. Let's see what this says up here. Is that what I think it says? Oh, Lord, y'all. World's greatest mom. You know, Gypsy got that for her at some point in some way. I never noticed the world's greatest mom plaque. For some reason, that is just wild. Wild, wild. Yeah, I agree, Nikita. The world's greatest mom plaque over Dee Dee's side of the bed where she was murdered. Personally, Kung Fu Panda, I think maybe my thought is that some of them might show things that counter Jip's narrative. I think it's for sharps. Didn't Dee Dee have to do insulin shots, so she would need to throw away her needles? I've been wondering about that too, Mel. I think that all the lights were off and that they didn't turn them on so that, for one, it wouldn't run the risk of Dee Dee seeing lights and waking her up, and two, that neighbors wouldn't be like, "Whoa, why are all the lights on at Dee Dee and Jip's in the middle of the night?" Right? Yeah, I can't imagine, Angelica. Yeah, the world's greatest mom plaque was really just wild to me. What's this little thing here? Oh, that's a reading light. One of those clippy reading lights. Yeah, I agree, Mel. Yes, they are morbid sparrow. Yep. TARDIS, that's what I was trying to think of. I kept saying the Doctor Who telephone booth. My brain could not conjure the word TARDIS this morning for some reason. That's how I am, RL. Yeah, I can imagine with Dee Dee's health issues, she would have been just really exhausted. Red bedroom walls, cell Cajun cracks me up. Is that a Cajun thing? Because I always have a red bedroom walls. I have family in Louisiana though, Slidell. Yep, I agree, Claudia. But I think part of it too was Jip. I do think Jip was in on the fraud and was worried about what was going to happen to her when all the fraud came clear. And there's the Barney again. There's the Jip Pics again. Jip and Dee Dee. Jip and Santa Claus. Some type of little boat here. Dee Dee sure loved her souvenirs and figurines. I wonder if that's a replica of the boat they were on in Cape Cod or something. That looks way bigger than a yacht, though. Maybe more like a cruise ship. Yeah. No, because she's a murderer, Dorothy. She wanted to just walking out of the house would have been hard. Taking her mom out, she thought was going to be an easy path. She could continue being a victim. Yeah, and RL, I um asked, like I've told y'all before, when I was at CrimeCon, I got to go to a meet and greet with Mike King, and he's a retired police officer, and he's the one who took down Warren Jeffs, the FLDS and everything. And Warren Jeffs, he was the one marrying hundreds of 11-year-old girls and all that. And I asked Mike King if anyone um, from the FLDS has ever murdered their parents to get away from the abuse. And he said, no, there's not a single incident. Love Shack Sarah, technically, to an extent, it was all fraud because no matter how sick Gypsy was with the microdeletion, she is not dying and she doesn't need that wheelchair full time. She might have in the past, but she didn't when she did the murder. So Dee Dee telling everybody Gypsy was going to die anytime and that she was wheelchair bound was always fraud. Yeah, I agree, Cinnamon. And also because Dee Dee telling everyone that Gypsy was gonna die from her conditions and that she absolutely couldn't walk, that's why DFS was sent there because the Southwest Missouri hospitals and doctors knew that that was not true. She couldn't get by with that with the medical places like people say she did. She only got by with it with charities. And it was fraud. It was fraud when she said Gypsy couldn't walk, and it was fraud when she said Gypsy was gonna die. Oh, thank you, Sam H. I appreciate that. Hey, Lisbeth. I'm glad you're here. Kung Fu, that's hilarious. Yeah, she might have been all down for it, except it would have took her away from Dan. Yeah, she doesn't have the demeanor of an abuse victim at all. I mean, I realize that abuse victims aren't a conglomerate. Like, there's a lot of different ways people react to trauma, but Gypsy's reaction is very strange. I think we all agree. Yeah, that's very possible, being that, until she got the chromosome deletion diagnosis in 2011, that she might have thought that, but they were still saying it from 2011 until the murder. Dee Dee was still telling people Gypsy had the mind of a 7-year-old and she was gonna die. She still said she was gonna die, Love Shack Sarah, right up after the chromosome deletion diagnosis, up until the murder, and she's not dying. She's not dead. That was a fraud, always. I might kung fu. Yeah, I'm we're thinking about it for sure. Right, Lisa Lucas, yeah, Gypsy is saying that, "Oh, she couldn't leave, but she could leave to go meet a 50-year-old dude, a 50-year-old dude." And there's, Dee Dee's side of the bed again, and there's another CPAP machine over here, that's interesting. Some of y'all were asking earlier whether or not Dee Dee and Gypsy were both on CPAPs. Oh, I disagree, Lala. I don't think she's not smart. She's definitely delayed. But I would say she has more like the mind of a horny 13-year-old, not a 7-year-old. Whenever Jip was before the murder, it's in the emails, she wrote that before the murder, she once snuck out of the house and met a 50-year-old Springfield man named Richard Keene when she was 18 years old, and her mom found out about it and got really upset, which I feel like any mother would get really upset about their 18-year-old going to meet a 50-year-old creep that they'd been weirdly talking to on the internet. Yeah. Yeah, Lisa, I do think that Dee Dee is innocent of most of the stuff Gypsy accused her of, but, I when people say there was absolutely no fraud, like, there was fraud. Gypsy's not dying. And, most everything that Southwest Missouri people gave to Dee Dee and Gypsy was because Dee Dee told everybody Gypsy was dying, and people believed it, and she is not dying, y'all. She's not dying, and she don't need a wheelchair. Yep. That's funny, PK. Oh, man. Yeah, she totally could have, Kathy. Exactly. Yeah, a lot of younger girls try to sneak out and meet older men whenever they're hormonal and your prefrontal cortex is not fully formed yet. And you get weird ideas when you're a teenager. And I feel like it would just really freak out any mom. No, Dorothy, she might have believed she was dying until she got the chromosome deletion diagnosis, but she definitely knew after that, and she was still 100% saying that, Gypsy was dying. Yeah, I know that, Lisa. I've never said that fraud was anything that she ought to be murdered for, but I'm never going to agree or sit here and say to people that she wasn't doing fraud. She was. She absolutely was doing fraud. And that's not anything to say that Dee Dee deserved murder, but we gotta be factual. Oh, there's all I can show you all kinds of screenshots, Angel Baby, it's all over the internet. She's always saying that she was never gonna live. Have you ever even seen the interview with Aaliyah? The interview with Aaliyah, she talks about how, "Oh, it's so wonderful." Like, it seemed like a wonderful life, all those Disney trips and everything, but, if you're gonna die, then that makes sense, like, who would want that at the price of being gonna die young and all that? So, yeah, everyone in Southwest Missouri was giving them all that stuff because they thought Gypsy was dying. Yeah. Yeah, they all said it. Rod and Christy actually used that for an excuse of why they didn't try and be in Gypsy's life because, oh, well, she was just going to die young anyway. Isn't that weird, y'all? Crazy. 10, 11, 12, 13. Let's see what those are. 10 possible blood swab, 11 blood swab located on lid of HP laptop, 12 DNA swab of keyboard of laptop. That's interesting that it says DNA swab instead of blood swab. It seems like they found something different there. Yeah, Rod didn't care. That was so weird that um Rod and Christy totally acted like it was, understandable that they weren't going to live. Gypsy wasn't going to live until 18, so what's the point of going to see her and be in her life? Isn't that weird? Oh, there's the Pepsi. Pepsi again. More Pepsi. Yep, RL Fro. Sure did. They called her Mama Dee Dee. As far as I can tell, Love Shack, Sarah, nobody has nailed Dee Dee to a cross except Gypsy. Probably so, RL. Yep, absolutely, Lisa. Oh, here's the safe. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Normally, if a parent thought that their child wasn't going to live into adulthood, they would want to be with them as much as possible while they were a child. Yep. So Nick said in his interrogation, somehow Gypsy got the money out of the safe. He didn't know how. So the safe was in Dee Dee's room. Dee Dee had already filed a police report recently. Um, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Barry Cheers. So Dee Dee had filed a police report recently about her cash and her medicines being stolen. So I feel like she would have been really keeping an eye on the safe. It just seems to me like there's no way that Gypsy could have gotten that cash out of the safe before the murder. And Nick he sounded confused about how she got the cash out. So, and since it seems clear that she tried to keep the knowledge from Nick that she went back in the room, yeah, I bet she just went back in and opened the safe. What do y'all think? Really seems that way to me. And the safe was like it was not near the door of the room. We saw the pictures all around the door entrance to the room, and it wasn't in that area. He said that about the bank bag of money, but then he also said that she figured out a way to get money out of the safe. Yep, I think so too, MK. Yeah, apparently the only person that she's really said that to was cellmates in Greene County. Yeah. Well, apparently Rod and the cookie lady were gonna have Jip come live with them in Canada. The cookie lady seemed like she was kind of obsessed with Jip as much as maybe even more than Rod. It was super weird, but who knows? They're strange ones, y'all. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. I agree, Julia. I keep wondering what this little tag thing is part of that was in the safe. I wish there was a picture of it open. And as you can tell, I mean, the safe's not even super easy to get to. Oh, that's a good question. Yeah. Maybe because it already happened. I'm sorry, TJ. That's rough. Yeah. Oh, dang, AC. Gonna go get some cookies? Yep. Oh, they are a for area. Rod and Cookie Later. Crazy little sidebar. Let's zoom in. There's some Cape Cod calendars from when they went to the Olay Foundation thingy. AC, she said she was gonna name it Très Gourmet. I suspect she might have changed the name, but yeah, we'll see. Let us know if you go find it. We got some Christmas or Mardi Gras decorations. In Louisiana, it's really common for Christmas decorations and Mardi Gras decorations to just kind of like blend into each other. The red and green get switched out for some purple and gold. A cell phone case there. More blankets. Thomas Kincaid calendar. Oh no, look, there's cat prints. Cat prints in the powder. So if we go with the hey Swifty. So if we go with the assumption that the powder was done after the murder, um, and we know Gypsy let the cats out, that would mean that the cats were still wandering around the house for a bit of time. I saw some questions I wanted to answer and they went too fast. Where are they at? Yes, Dee Dee was computer literate. She actually did side work sometimes restoring photos. She did like photo restoration. So she was computer literate. And like I've said before, Dee Dee didn't have great spelling, but I know a lot of extremely intelligent people who with spelling just isn't their thing. It's not their skill. I thought it was a Sharpie. I'm not sure. Oh, I must have Googled the wrong thing, huh? Well, there you go. AC, did you see this from Feisty Canadian? Hey, Birdie Bones, I'm glad you got a membership. When memberships are gifted, YouTube just selects who gets them. So I'm glad y'all got them. Yeah, it could have been put down before she let the cats out, or it could just mean that the cats didn't leave the house right away after they left the door open. Yeah, she restored photos and I think I did hear that she used whiteout on Jip's birth certificate. That's right, I remember seeing that. That's what made me think maybe she changed the name. Those poor cats, what they saw. What the heck? Water on that TV? And look at a powder. Like I kept saying, the amount of powder she sprinkled everywhere is wild, but yet the areas where it's wiped is weird too. Why the heck is there water on the TV? Hey, Rachel. That is just so weird, y'all. Hunger Games stuff. See what I mean about the amount of powder and the fingerprints? Very weird. Again, it always hits me as so strange how so much of the clutter is bagged up. I was wondering that too, PK. The only thing I could think is it possible that that was some sort of, I don't know, something to do with checking the crime scene? I'm not sure. Hey, Anna Girl Empath. Hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure, Claudia. I'm not sure what they do to spray with luminol. That's a possibility. Hmm. I'm not sure I agree with that, Love Shack Sarah. I feel like if she put the powder down in the bedroom before the murder, Dee Dee would have been like, "What the heck is this?" But we just don't really have a way to know. Thank you, 1970, gifting some memberships. My hubby in here supporting. Yep. There's the window, Mandy said. See all the powder on the clock and everything? It's like a powder bomb just went off in there, that carpet deodorizer. Oh, Mel asked for a look at the window. My bad. Let me go back. There is a small film on it, but it looks like just a small picture. The rest of it's relatively clear. See, there's a small picture there, and then you can see the fornication foliage. Yeah, I agree, Aleph. Right. Lisa, it's totally cool to defend Dee Dee. I just, there are things that she did that, in my opinion, weren't good, and I want to be real and factual about it. But she did not deserve murder. Did not. Nope. Especially not this brutal of a murder. I don't know. Hmm. Yeah, I agree, Junefly. Definitely. Here we got another pile underneath the window, it looks like. Oh, what does this say down here? Hang on a second. I think we see some doodling. D and Gypsy. Wow, look at that handwriting. Wonder if that was Dee Dee's. Really can't see Gypsy doing that. Right, RL yeah. She has no idea what Sweden being neutral refers to. Thank you, Angel Baby. Appreciate that. Is that med underneath? Yeah, I agree. Just brilliant. Yeah, it seems like maybe Dee Dee was practicing like some fancy handwriting here. I wish we could see what the rest of it says. Maybe they'll show us more in another picture. We got more cat prints. Good Lord, look at that powder. Oh, and look, another picture of Dee Dee and Gypsy. Looks like a Disney World, maybe. The whole lie about taking out all those pictures just drives me nuts. I don't understand why she even bothered to do that lie. Oh, just brilliant. Gypsy said that one time to Ken, talking about Ken and Ryan's fight. She goes, "I'm Switzerland." And Ken goes, "Well, I'm Germany." And Gypsy looked at him all confused. And he was like, she goes, "Don't you know what that reference means? It's a Twilight reference." She didn't know where it was actually from. Yeah, yep. She had to make Gypsy as happy as possible. That's all Dee Dee cared about. I think that that's really admirable of her. That all she cared about, it seems like, was Gypsy's happiness. Yep, they were at Disney World there. Why do y'all think she even told that lie when it's so obviously not true? Like, why on earth would she put in the book that she removed all her pictures when she didn't? I mean, why does she lie about anything, obviously, but it's just so strange. No, Love Shack Share, so by letting the cats out, all she did was leave the door open. She didn't, from what I understand, she didn't physically put them out. So the cats could have wandered around for a day or two after the murder before going out on their own because they weren't getting fed. Yep, definitely, Rachel. I agree, Anna. She just can't help herself. Pathological. Yep. I think so, Phaedra. Yeah. Yep. Definitely, Angel Baby. Looks like she removed something here and left yet another picture of herself in a freaking crown. Yep. Yeah, she didn't remove all pics of her, in a wheelchair or anything like that. Maybe yeah, she didn't, oh, of course, Claudia, thank you for being here. No, it wasn't, Sarah. They left the back, door open, from what I understand. If I'm wrong, I'm always willing to be corrected. Well, he did that from what I understand, he did that before they realized, but I could be wrong. The whole thing about all of the reports about the house are really, really confusing whenever I read the Stan Hancock's police report. It seemed like there were different witnesses kinda saying different things. Hey, Jelly. Yeah, and that's why I was saying they probably hung around for a couple of days until they didn't get food. If they might have gnawed on Dee Dee, I'm not sure. I tried not to look at the really, really gory pics, but, I suspect they would have went outside. Yep, I agree, AC. The lies are just weird. Yeah, it is sus, Sarah. Um, Crap, I was gonna answer something in a comment and I blanked out, y'all. I lost what I was gonna say. Oh, Raquel said, "I hope the cats are all right." The cats were actually found by 2 local people and, taken in. From what I understand, one of them was so traumatized that, like, it didn't do well. I don't remember what happened, but the other one is okay. I agree, Lala. Oh, interesting, AC. Oh, thank you, Love Shack, Sarah. I wasn't sure. A famous murderer did remove all of his photos. Huh. Huh, huh, huh. Jip probably looked that up. It took a few. I think that the ones that she took showed something she didn't wanna see. I don't know what it would be because everybody knew about the wheelchair, but I think they showed something or other she didn't want to see because it looks like something was removed from there. Yeah, that's correct, Claudia. I agree, RL. Another good point, Barry. Is this a med bucket here? Let's zoom in a bit. There's the D and Gypsy thing again. I wish these were clear. They've all got handwriting on the top of them. I can't tell what they say. Maybe they'll have a closer up picture as we go further on. Yep, good point, RL. I guess this is Dee Dee's closet. You can see her moo-moos in there. I don't think that's true, Daisy, because I did see those in the crime scene pics and they were I didn't see that. Yeah, I wonder too, Mel. Because I can't it's hard to imagine her wanting to keep any of Dee Dee's moo-moos. I wondered if maybe Dee Dee might have some of her old pageant dresses or something like that that she wanted, but who knows? Um, I feel like we did see that one somewhere. It was a kind of a light denim, I think. This might actually be it right here. But it was like a big, very light blue denim dress, moo type thing, if I remember right. Um, looks like one here too is like a house dress moo type thing. That could be similar to the blue one that we saw. Hey, Ellie. Oh, it's a big dress, a big flowy dress, and it doesn't they're usually like really, like she said, not a lot of shape to it for comfort kind of thing. No, that handprint painting, I couldn't believe that. It's so creepy. I was telling y'all the other day, the handprint painting reminds me of that scene in the Blair Witch Project movie where they get to the witch's house and all the kids' handprints are on the wall. It's so creepy. And looks like just more of this dress here, these ones, that plaid muumuus, definitely seen her wear those in pictures. Right, Jelly? Lord alive, that's a lot of stuff. I don't really see anything we need to zoom in on. Let me check comments and seeing if y'all are seeing anything. You don't like the red walls, boss lady? I have red walls in my bedroom. Yeah, you're welcome. Just brilliant. Right. Yep. That's what I was thinking of, Mandy. And then there's something else that says one was open, but I can't think of it offhand. I don't want to be too definite. I could misremember things. I'm not infallible, y'all. There we can see the collage a little better. Let's zoom in on that. I think that's Dee Dee's parents there. Shit ton of gypsy baby pics. There's Dee Dee and Rod, I assume. It looks like Dee Dee's wedding dress. Dee Dee at a pageant, I think. Hmm. Yeah, I know Gypsy lie is just a lie, but I can't get over some of the more blatant, obvious lies. It's like, why did you do it? Thank you, Claudia. Yeah, I always have like the brightest colors everywhere. Bold, bold colors. Yeah, it sounds like Dee Dee never really got over Rod for some dang reason. What exactly Dee Dee or any of the other girls that uh, Rod's chatting up and having affairs with on the internet, what exactly they see in Rod is beyond my comprehension, but alrighty then. Oh, hey, Aleph. We'll see you later. I wonder if Dee Dee painted the walls herself because it doesn't seem to have been professionally done because there are areas, that need more coats. So doing that herself, like that would have been probably a lot of work early on before her mobility went down. Here we've just got another view. Yeah, there's several pics of Rod around. That poor Jesus pic, what it had to see. Yep, Pimp Juice Rod. So from this angle, I think they're taking the picture here, like from the doorway of the bedroom. So you can see from this angle here, looking in the doorway, Dee Dee would have been over here dead on this side of the bed. Gypsy would have had to have gone over here and kind of leaned over this mess to get something out of the safe. And the the drawer that Nick talked about or getting stuff out of, getting some money out of, she would have went this way up to her own nightstand, if I'm interpreting everything correctly. Oh, Lord, Shorty Pie. Oh, I like accents too, Claudia, different. I love whenever, like, I find a YouTube channel from someone from a country that I wasn't familiar with before, and I get to hear a brand new accent. It's just so cool to me. Or a different part of even America that I've not been familiarized with, and I get to hear a new accent. I really like them. Yep, good point, Ellie. Like, how would she have gotten a wheelchair in and out of there to get to bed and back? You couldn't. No way. So all her BS about, "Oh, no, I had to use the wheelchair all the time." Didn't she even try to say that Dee Dee was getting her in and out of the wheelchair instead of her standing up and doing it herself? I feel like I remember that, but are you talking about the video of her calling Dee Dee, change why she did what she did, in my opinion? I'm not quite following you there, Angel Baby. Maybe you were replying to someone else, not me, but I'm not sure what video you're referring to. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, and this is again from the doorway. Thank you, Sam H. Hmm, I don't remember cinnamon. You might be right on that. Oh, okay. Gotcha, Angel Baby. Oh, yeah, we can't trust anything Cats and Crochet said. Oh, that was a crazy saga, wasn't it, y'all? Right, Ellie? How in the heck did Dee Dee even get back and forth in bed? Yeah, Lisa, and not only that, apparently she actually has scoliosis, and that's part of the weirdness we see with her walking. Because she was saying in the emails to Ryan that she didn't think she was gonna be able to walk or not walk, excuse me, y'all. She didn't think she was gonna be able to work when she got out because her one of her real diagnoses of mild scoliosis hurts her back so bad. Crazy. Now, I know tons of people with scoliosis that work, but it's another one of those instances where we find Jip using actual diagnoses as excuses to not do things whenever her whole story that she had to murder her mother because she none of those diagnoses were real, you know? Just nuts. Nuts, nuts. Right, Kung Fu? I guess this is one of Dee Dee's debit cards or ATM cards. Yep, First American Bank. There's her driver's license. Is that her correct birth date? For some reason, I thought she was born in, like, 71 or something like that, but huh. Yep, exactly, Anna Girl Empath. Oh, thank you, Amanda and Pink. Glad you're here. Yep, definitely. Excellent point, Shorty Pie. That is so funny because, she swears up and down. She even made Ken do a whole backtracking thing after Ken said, "Yeah, Dee Dee put the film on the window so people couldn't see her walking around." And then Gypsy had an absolute fit. She's like, "No, no, 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 that was because of the CPS." But Gypsy tells us that she'd had enough of her mom's hoarding. And so she packed it all a bunch of stuff up in black trash bags and took them out, and then Dee Dee brought them back in the house. Yeah, how did Gypsy pack all that stuff up in the trash bags and drag those out? Was she dragging it behind her wheelchair? I don't think so. How funny. Yep, good point, Shorty Pie. Okay, thank you, y'all. She was born in 67. I had it in my head for some reason 71. When I saw that 67, I was like, "What?" But I must have been misremembering something. Yeah, TJ, I could see that because it was so weird in the emails. Rod was emailing Gypsy talking about, having dreams about Dee Dee when she was young and beautiful and um how what a good wife she was. Yeah. He was somehow still about Dee Dee after her death. Yeah, that's what I think too, Bean. Power cord? Wonder why they bagged up a power cord. There it is. What could possibly be significant about this power cord? Maybe it has a blood drop on it or something. Yeah, Lisa, like hardly anything you see there was any of Dee Dee's personal possessions. Like Gypsy says Dee Dee was attached to boxes and stuff because they had memories to him. Well, yeah, probably because that was all she had. Everything was Dee Dee. Hey, Stacia. Glad you're back. I didn't either, boss lady. Wow. And there's more of the CPAP and the white flowered nightgown again, and this power cord that their focus is on so much for some reason. Yeah, I actually love Shaq Sarah. I like the film on the windows myself. I think it's pretty. Water drop was on the TV. Could it have been condensation? Oh, yeah, because Gypsy set the temp so low. That's possible. We didn't see it on anything else, but yeah. Yeah, Christy was very pretty when she was young. But yeah, Dee Dee was flashy when she was young. So here's the laptop. We got a flash drive in there. Oh, let's scroll in and see if we can tell what it's open to. Looks like a regular Word doc, but I can't make it out. It's too blurry. It almost looks like the third word there is crime. I hope they do a closer up picture of this. Hmm. Oh, good. Here's a better one. Oh, app data, other. Firefox portable and help. Homepage is set to D Blanchard. That's probably your Facebook or something. Is that her driver's license, Lala? Oh, good catch, Bean. Okay, so those are just system files that they're looking at. Let's see what we got here. Oh, it's too dang blurry. Looks like they were checking the search history maybe, but I don't know why they took these pictures. They're gonna make them so blurry that you can't see. Ooh, look at this. Traffic statistics. None of that means anything to me, does it, to y'all? Oh, there's the Sebastian thing. Device. DirecTV, Sebastian. Interesting. Yeah, right, Mandy? Isn't that crazy? Yeah, I think the Sebastian that she talked to in prison, she did, but it's just really, really strange. There's Sebastian spelt the same way connecting to their Wi-Fi. Very weird. It's their IPs. There's the Sebastian thing again. So weird. The name Sebastian mentioned a Gypsy Rose in a 2012 Facebook post. Yep. And the spelling of Sebastian with an A after the B is very weird. And that's how the one who she was writing to in prison was spelled as well. Yeah, I can't. I can't with that. Hey, Audrey. Yep, we've been going for 2.5 hours. Yeah, but very, very strange. That same exact spelling of Sebastian. And it's a PC. Status on, so they're still connected to Wi-Fi. That's possible, yeah. Right, boss lady, yeah. It seems like there would have had to been 2 different Sebastians or that's a lie. But yeah, very, very weird. Yeah, we're looking at the, crime scene photos, Audrey, of the laptop and, Someone with a PC named Sebastian, spelled the same way as the Sebastian she was writing to in prison, was connected to their Wi-Fi still after Dee Dee's death. Probably Swiftie. Mandy J UK says she believes it's the same one, and she's pretty hot on her research, so more Sebastian. Says Sebastian's phone was linked to Dee Dee's Wi-Fi. Yeah, that's what we're looking at here, but it's still possible, like, the whoever went by Sebastian and was hooking up to Dee Dee's Wi-Fi might have been one of their neighbors or someone who knew Gypsy and then started writing her in prison. It's just, we can't totally rule that out just because Gypsy said so. We know she says a lot of stuff. And I don't know on that Daisy Designs. I think Italy guy was different. I'm pretty sure Sebastian was from Missouri. Then somebody unknown. Android. Direct TV. Jip PC. Interesting. So there were Oh, that sucks. I didn't know that, Mandy. Yeah, I don't approve of that. Um anyway, there's multiple laptops at the house and some people were wondering whether or not one was Gypsy's, one was Dee Dee's, if they use the same one. We don't know for sure, but one was definitely named Gyp PC. So it seems like she had her own laptop. And she also claims that her laptop was smashed up before the murder, but it was still connected. Right, Mel? Yeah. And there's the list. Sebastian. Oh, DDHP. Man, there's a lot of Sebastian. Is this like different devices or the number of times they connected? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Missouri Swifty, but oh, that's funny. Two girls, one modem. Number of devices, Mel says. Okay. Yeah, definitely. Daisy. So we've got Jip PC, Dee Dee's HP, Sebastian PC, Sebastian. Very strange. Yep. Definitely Shorty Pie. I'm surprised they didn't have their Wi-Fi password protected. Pretty fly for a Wi-Fi. Nice. Right, Swifty? Oh, her mom was just so protective. I don't really that information doesn't mean anything to me. Does it to any of y'all? Did she ever use Sebastian as maybe a child's name? Not that I know of. Good call, Audrey. The only active on that list was Sebastian. Mel, whenever Stacia said Trevor, she meant to write, does she ever just accidentally come out Trevor? Oh, I know, RL Fro. Wasn't that crazy on that Life After Lockup when she got out and she was like, "Oh, wow, how do I open an app? How do I send a text?" Good grief. Guess that's their router. Oh, wait a second. Let me go back to that for a minute. Thought it might have a name on there, but it doesn't. And this is sitting right in front of the safe there. It's like there was some kind of lanyard thing with Jesus something written on it in the safe. It's weird how they got the router wire all up around the safe. Yeah, I agree. Daisy's design. Your computer is at risk. I'm checking out their McAfee. They show the most boring pictures from their laptop. Oh, thank you, Crystal Moon. Yeah, I agree, RL and Ruth. Yep. I am not sure. I remember them saying, I think Christy said that, they got overwhelmed in there and only took a few things. Like they found Dee Dee had a prescription pad they thought she'd stolen. Now that's Christy's story. Who knows if that's actually true, but I guess they're showing here that the laptop has the wrong date and time by showing their own cell phone. Very weird. Yeah, the police officer, whoever's cell phone says Monday, June 16th, 4:23, and the laptop says June 15th, 4:23 a.m. You're probably right, MK. Check Out their Netflix. Skype. Oh, I hope they show the Skype stuff. There's D and Chip again. Let's see what kind of icons are on there. What is Snapfish? Does anyone know? Let me Google Snapfish real quick. Looks like it's some sort of photo, create your own photo book site. So that seems like something Dee Dee would have been into. Yep. And they got Priceline, Connected Music, Wild Tangent Games for something Security Army, Connected Photo. Surely this had to be Dee Dee's laptop, not Jip's. Unless Jip was using Dee Dee's. Let's stick her over the camera. That seems more Dee Dee than Jip. Jip would have had no reason to put a sticker over her camera. She liked being on camera. And there's the actual temp was 70, but Jip had it set to 45. The AC just couldn't keep up and actually get it down to that. No, she was sitting by the table, Missy. It's 1:42 p.m., but also 4:20, Joy says. That is a good thought. I need to have a little roll. It's the blood swab. I wonder if they used the laptop for some reason after the murder. What do y'all think? Is that Gypsy and Dee Dee there? Hang on. No, I think that's. Was Dee Dee photoshopping her and Gypsy there? Because that looks like a photoshopped kind of stylized version of Gypsy. But that looks like Dee Dee. See anything too significant there? That's Gypsy doing something. It looks like as they're taking pictures, these photos here are changing. Yeah. Yeah, I agree, Jenna. Wonder which part they found the blood on. I couldn't really tell from their swabs. Right? Love checks there for real. Definitely Daisy. Oh, that might have been Belle and Dee Dee at Disney World. MSN 8. And this one, we've got another. It's a couple little girls in front of something. I think that's Gypsy with a younger girl. Gypsy in one of her princess dresses with a younger girl. And it looks like she's standing. If that's her, what do y'all think? Oh, yeah, totally, Lisa. There's that same pic again. It's a little clearer this time. Yeah, I think that's Dee Dee with a Belle impersonator at Disney. It looks like the same thing. Oh, okay, Mel. Disney live action play. It looks like the screws have been taken out. Y'all notice that? Look. Let me zoom in a little bit. I don't know, maybe I'm imagining things, but the screws looked odd to me, like they'd been taken out and put back in. Some of them are kind of out and some are all the way in. Maybe I'm just imagining things though. Definitely Jules. There's them doing the blood swabs again on the laptop. Wonder what they looked up. Assuming they did, or did they just accidentally kind of sling blood over there? 11. Possible swab of blood located on lid of HP laptop computer. Located on the floor next to the bed. That's what the listing of the evidence says. I guess right there would be where they think the blood is. And that doesn't look like a droplet. That looks like someone touched the computer. Oh, thank you, McCatherine. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, I haven't heard that, Angel Baby. Do you know where did that info come from? There's the laptop again. And the blood swab. There's noting another blood drop on the laptop. Post in the Facebook groups after the crime, Angel Baby said. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, Mandy. Yeah, I'm personally not too keen on contacting people in Springfield and asking questions. I feel like the community has had enough trauma in dealing with Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Right, Jenna? Now, this is Dee Dee's side of the bed where that nightgown we suspect is Gypsy's was located, and this laptop was up here. It looks to me like someone had a pallet sleeping in the floor by the bed here. Isn't that weird, y'all? Like, it looks like this is a pallet on the floor where Jip's nightgown was, and it's propped up against the bed. Like, I don't, it's very weird to me. It seems like somebody, Gypsy, was sleeping there, and I can't imagine why. And it was all plugged in and everything. Not much powder on the sides of the bed rails. Maybe there were blankets covering those whenever she did their initial sprinkle. Hey, chicken crafts. Uh, Kelly, no, as far as I know, nope. Oh, Love Shack Sarah said there's another palette in a different part. What the heck are they measuring here? Not sure what they're trying to determine here. Yeah, I agree, Violet. Okay, here's the tire tracks in the yard that everyone's been talking about. We couldn't find in any of the other pictures. So this must be like kind of to the side of the house or something because those overhead drone pics, we couldn't find any tire tracks of like the front yard and stuff. They're to the side where the crime scene tape ended, and then there was the neighbor's greenhouse and shed. See? It's like somebody pulled up in between there. Weird, y'all. Lala, I would hope so. But I bet they stopped researching it after the plea deal was done. That's possible, McCatherine. I'm not sure which ones came first. Yeah, that's my thought. Jenna. Definitely. If Dan didn't show up, then who made the tire tracks though? Yeah, TJ, I've been wondering too because I wasn't we went through hundreds of pics, the last couple of days, and I wasn't seeing the tire tracks, but we finally found them. Yeah, I've always wondered if she didn't actually go meet with Dan that day and have sex like she was wanting to, and tried to get Dan to come back and partake in the murder, and he refused. I've always wondered about that in those 12 hours where she wasn't talking to Nick. That's what I was thinking, Sarah. It kind of seems like a dually truck, a dually tires on the back. Kind of looks like it went different ways, like they backed up a few times. Yeah, same mystery girl. I would think if they were tracks from the EMS that they wouldn't bother with, categorizing them and detailing them this way. But and I also the I can't see the EMS needing to pull up in the yard on that side because they would have taken Dee Dee's body out the front door or the side door, I would think. Jenna, I'm not sure how the 2 tires would be that close together if it was a motorcycle, like, I wouldn't expect them to be so parallel. Whenever I was riding my bike, the only time that it would make 2 tire tracks like that is if I was, like, turning to go around a corner, but I don't know, they just look kinda different, but it still could be. Those are What's strange to me is, like Love Shack Sarah said it looked like a dually. If for anyone not familiar with dually trucks, they're a normal truck, but then whenever you get to the back tires, there's 4 across the back instead of 2. So it does look like it could have been a dually peeling out there, but I would expect to see 2 tire tracks on the driveway as well, because it looked like if this is a dually truck, the other 2 tires from the back would have landed on the driveway pavement, and I would expect to see some kind of black mark or something. Because if they peeled out on this side, I would expect them to be peeling out over here on the pavement too, you know what I mean? Like the width of a dually, you'd have 2 tires here and then 2 way over here. Yeah, a trailer also has double tires in the back, that could be. Someone said Jip doing burnouts in her wheelchair. She was celebrating Dee Dee's demise, doing burnouts in her wheelchair out there in the rain. I could actually see that. But yeah, I do think it's a dually truck, honestly. Yeah, Violet, the pickup truck with 2 on each side of the back, that's called a dually. Yep. Yep, definitely AC. My grandpas and uncles had them too. Oh, they took a lot of pictures of those tracks, didn't they? From every angle. Oh, did you hear my champagne pop, AC? Pour pour another mimosa. Yeah, Audrey is awesome, just brilliant, said she just followed her channel. If you're on TikTok, Audrey does a lot more on TikTok than she does on YouTube. She does really good breakdowns and videos. Been wondering that too. I guess they were just taking a picture of the driveway to show it didn't have tracks. And there's the Hope and Volunteer Way. And there's the crime scene tape. Yeah, could be Janet. If that was a trailer, though, it definitely had a load on to push down in the grass like that. Just a trailer unloaded, I wouldn't expect to make tracks like that. But the dualies are really, really heavy. And they have heavy axles for those 4 tires in the back, so they will dig down in the mud. Oh, no worries, Anna girl. We got more pics of the prayer cloth and her pillow. The pooled dried blood and matter on that pillow is just so sad and disturbing. Yeah, probably Daisy, but I don't think they would have done that before all the crime scene processing was done. So yeah, I'm not sure. I get on TikTok just brilliant about once every 3 or 4 days or maybe once a week because I've as an elder millennial, I just don't quite get it, but I'm trying. I'm trying to TikTok more. But YouTube's comfortable and familiar, and I like YouTube. Yeah, I agree, Bean. Yeah, probably so, AC. Yeah, the lady and her daughter that live there, it's crazy to me that they do, and they get harassed all the time by people. I feel bad for them on that. They've got it underhand though, because I heard that the last time someone drove by slow and hollered anything, that they stepped out with guns. And Missouri is a, protect your home laws type place. So I would not recommend anyone go by there. Yeah, I agree, Missy. Definitely won't lose me that side, AC. I try to post a little over there now and then so that TikTok people who also do YouTube can know that I'm here over here on YouTube. But yeah, I don't quite the TikTok algorithm feels overwhelming to me the way that the videos just kind of come at you and start playing at you and you don't really choose whether you click on them like you do in YouTube. I guess I'm just old, y'all. It's so sad to me. I know that this happens when people die, but I assume that this year's where Dee Dee's bladder voided when she died. The wet spot here dried. You know what, Kung Fu Panda? Y'all are gonna crack up, but I've actually been thinking for a few years about getting like an elaborate artsy looking tattoo that actually just says "Show me" in the middle for the show me state. Same, Jules, same. Not sure what this is exactly. Something of Dee Dee's clearly. Oh, is this her body bag? Oh, yeah, it's her body bag. Yeah. Yeah, that's where they got Dee Dee in the bag after they've got her laying on Gypsy's side of the bed, and her bag the last place she laid on that bed was Gypsy's side. Somehow the body bag almost feels sadder to me than when I saw the actual pictures of her body, you know? It's just something so final and murdery about it. Okay, these are redacted FOIA pics of the actual body. I know people have put out the real pictures, um, but I'm glad that these are redacted. Actually, Mr. Gold, it's Dee Dee was spelling it that way at the time to try and keep their past in Louisiana from catching up with them. She was changing up the spelling a little bit, and that's what they had at the time. That's why in Gypsy's prison records, it had an E on the end at first because that's what she was admitted with. I'm glad they're covered too, Angel Baby. I've seen them all, but yeah, I wouldn't show them here if they were unredacted. For one thing, YouTube would take down the stream, but also, even though I saw them myself, I don't want to see them again or show them. You're welcome, mystery girl. Yeah, it is so sad. You're welcome, Mel. Yep, definitely Daisy. I hope Mel, but I feel like Nick still has deep feelings for Gypsy. I just it's just my personal opinion. I don't think he's going to. I wish he would, but I don't think he's going to. Okay. Well, friends, we've been on for over 3 hours now. I think what I'll do is go ahead and stop here. And then tomorrow we'll start again and I'll get past I'll find where the redacted ones stop and get back to stuff that we can actually look at again. And then we'll do another live stream, same time, same place tomorrow, if y'all are interested. Let me go ahead and take this one down. Anna Girl Empath, whenever I saw him, it was last year, and I was seeing creators say things about the autopsy pics, and I'd never saw them. So I just went and Googled Dee Dee Blanchard autopsy pics, and one of the first links I clicked happened to have all the unredacted pics. So, it's they're out there and they're not, from what I remember, unless it's changed since then, it's not that hard to find. So, please take care. I know you said you're a medical person, so it probably won't be shocking to you, but the pictures are bad. They're gruesome. There are some that of Dee Dee that look directly into her eyes, and they're just rough. Yeah, Violet's right. Candace Starr has them on her channel unedited, and yeah, just be prepared in your mental before you look at them. Oh, hey, Ivona, I'm so sorry. We're about to end. I know Ivona said that this was a little early for her. I Thankfully, we got the replay. But yeah, we thank you all so much. Thank you, Claudia. Yeah, Tori said some they had been released before that, but last year on Gypsy's birthday, someone did release them again. Thank you, Jenna. I appreciate that. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove the pictures and um oh good, Berry Tears. Said we've been good company while they were cleaning out their room and closet. Oops, meant to take that down. Stop sharing. And I did a little palette cleanser to show y'all. If I can get it going right. Because Feline, oh, you're welcome, Kung Fu Panda. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you, Angel Baby. I appreciate that. And Phaedra. I'm glad you showed up, Ivona, but I'm so sorry that we were almost done. Kung Fu, we haven't seen the fawn in a few days, but sometimes she does that a few days and then they won't. Her herd will come pick her up, and then a few days later, she'll be back several days in a row. It's so sweet. Okay, let me get my palette cleanser here. Celine was back in the backyard just eating away. I happened to look out the kitchen window and see her, so I started recording through the window. That's why sometimes it's not that clear, like you can see a little spot here and there on the window or something, but because I'm usually recording her through the window. Thank you, Mandy. Thank you, Anna Girl Empath. Fader, I'm glad you're on the replay crew. Ellie, Maria. Isn't she so adorable, y'all? I just feel so blessed that she comes and hangs out and I get to watch her. And it's so cool whenever her herd comes and picks her up. Oh, I pulled in the driveway and this little lizard was sunning on the rock, so I videoed him for a while. Yes, Violet, it was her who walked up in the window the other day while I was recording. And then we saw this little guy. Love Shack Sarah, her herd and her mom all come here to pick her up and drop her off sometimes. Yep. I live, just, like, literally about a block or block and a half away from a really huge, like, we're talking hundreds of acres Native American preserve, and so lots and lots of protected deer and animals live there, and since I'm so close to it, they make their way a couple blocks out of the preserve over here and hang out in my yard sometimes. It's awesome. But, yeah, I thought this little guy was so cute. It is a really beautiful healing place. I love it here. Love it, love it. Well, I hope you all have a really great day. Thank you for hanging out with me for so long. And for those of you who just came in, I am so sorry that you're just catching the end, but we'll have a replay up here. Everybody have a great Sunday. Thank you so much for hanging out.